Hi guys. Welcome everyone who's joining. Okay, I've got the same thing we used to do in our last little section. There's just 3 questions here for you to try while we wait for people to join. It's just on the equation work we did in our last lesson on Monday. So get out a piece of paper and a pen or pencil, and let's give these 3 equations a try while we wait for everyone else to join. Welcome everyone, those of you who are joining. There are 3 questions for you to try. Just give them a go. If you need help while you're working through them, feel free to ask. It's not a problem at all. See if there's any questions that you are feeling confident in and would feel okay to talk us through when we're ready. So give them a try. See if you're happy. If you want to check your answer, you can ask me the answer and I can tell you if you're right or wrong. Sorry guys, this one's missing an equal sign. That should be an equals, not a minus. The equals is getting worse and worse. Let me try again. It's not great, but that is an equal sign for those of you who can see it. Okay, we're going to give welcome to those of you who have just joined. We're going to give everyone a few more minutes to just get onto this chat. While you are waiting, if you could please give these 3 questions a try for me. So just some revision of the work we did in our last lesson, which is just grade 8 revision. Simpiwe, do you mind muting your mic just until you answer a question? Thank you. Okay, I'm going to give you 2 more minutes to try and finish these off. Oh, who have I got who's wanting to answer? Or was that Simpiwe? Was that just a delayed answer? All right, let's jump into these. Before we do anything, do we have a volunteer of anyone who feels comfortable to talk us through question 1? How about if I tell you the answer is -2? Do I have anyone who's comfortable to talk us through question 1? If you got the answer of -2, then you know you're right, so you can talk me through it. No one. I'm shook. Okay, I'm gonna chat through question 1 and then, oh, let me turn off my video so you're not staring at my ceiling. And then we'll go through this. Okay, so for question 1, the first thing we're doing is we're moving, let me get a colorful pen. We're moving that 16 over. So we're going to have 12e is equal to -40 plus 16. And -40 plus 16 is equal to -24. And then if I divide both sides by 12, I'm going to see that e is equal to -2. Okay. Do I have someone who feels confident with question 2? Are you guys going to make me pick on you? Is that where we're headed? Oh, some
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yes, I'm ready for it.
Ma'am, how did you get -24?
So -40 plus 16 would give me -24. I'm taking all the way a -40 and then I'm adding numbers, so I'm getting closer and closer to 0.
Oh, thank you, ma'am.
No problem. Let's have a look. How about Nolwazi? Can you help me with question 2? I'm not going to throw you in the deep end. We can work through it together.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You knew I was going to pick on you. Hey, you felt it.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about the first part. So let's talk about this left-hand side. What happens when I take that 4 into the brackets?
Ma'am, I multiply. So, ma'am, I say 4 times -8, which is -32.
Good.
And then I say 4 times 3x, which is 12x.
Excellent. Well done. Okay. Now let's work on the right-hand side. What happens there?
Then, ma'am, I say 5 times x, which is 5x.
Good.
Then, ma'am, I say 5 times -3, which is -15.
Excellent.
And then it's going to be -3.
Okay. Where do I go to from there?
So, ma'am, I'm going to be adding like terms. So,
Okay.
ma'am, I brought 5
This side.
to the left,
Mhm.
5x to the left. So it's going to be 12x plus 5x.
Very, very close. When that 5x moves over the equal sign, it's going to change from a plus to a minus.
Minus.
Yeah, but you were on the right idea. You knew to move it, which is great.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
what's going to happen on the right-hand side?
So, ma'am, the right-hand side is going to be -15
Mhm.
-3.
Mhm.
And then I'm going to bring -32, and it's going
And
to
so
be
when
positive.
it's going to become a positive, good, because it changes as it jumps over. Excellent. Okay, so now I'm going to help you out with this last little bit. Well done, Nwazi. You did beautifully there. So 12x minus 5x is going to give me 7x. And then on the right-hand side, I'm going to land up with -18 plus 32, which gives me 14. I'm going to divide both sides by 7. So I get x is equal to 2. Does anyone have any questions about question 2 that they were unhappy with? Okay. All right, let's have a look at question 3 then. Okay, for question 3, we only need to take this 3 into the bracket. So I'm going to have 2x plus 3x minus 6 is equal to 4. And I'm going to move that 6 onto this side. So 2x plus 3x gives me 5x, and 4 plus 6 on, because I'm going to move that 6 over onto the other side. So 5x is equal to 10. Divide both sides by 5, which means x is equal to 2. Okay. Can I get an idea of how these questions went? So in the comments, can you tell me what you got out of 3? If you got 1 out of 3, then that's great. If you got 2 out of 3, if you got 3 out of 3, and don't feel like you have to lie. If you got none out of 3, that's also okay. Remember, I really don't mind if you're making mistakes. I only care that you're trying. So can you just go into the chat for me for a second and just say what you, how, or even if you feel uncomfortable giving your number, you can say like, I didn't enjoy it, or, okay, great. Beautiful. Thanks, guys. Okay. So let's have a look. Let's move on to the ones where we're now going to be dealing with fractions. So we actually briefly brought this up last week because we dealt with a fraction very similar to this first one that we have over here. But we're going to do it the same way for all of these questions. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the lowest common denominator for all of these numbers. And the cool thing with an equation is once we have a lowest common denominator, we get to drop it. So it gets to go away. So I'm going to show you an example with this one. This is a nice, easy question. I might even also use B as an example, and then I'm going to let you guys try them. And I'm going to ask for some help to give me answers. So if I rewrote this, I'm just going to write it like this. I've got x over 4 plus 2 over 1 is equal to 7 over 1. So all I've done is I've put my whole numbers over 1, just so that I know that they have a denominator of 1 and so that I don't forget them when I'm looking for my denominators. Now, if I wanted to find a common denominator here, my LCD, so my lowest common denominator, would be 4. So with this x over 4, I don't need to do anything because its denominator is already 4. With this 2 over 1, I would need to multiply that 1 by 4 to get a denominator of 4. And what we do to the bottom, we have to do to the top. And then I would do the exact same thing on this side of the equal sign, times 4 times 4. So what I land up with is x over 4 plus 8 over 4, which is equal to 28 over 4. And once we have the same denominator, we are allowed to drop it, but only in an equation. Okay, so some of your teachers may have taught you at this point, they haven't even written the denominator. They may have just written x plus 8 equals 28, and that's also 100% fine because you don't need to show that step. So now I'm going to lose that denominator. So I'm going to say x plus 8 equals 28. So I've dropped my denominator. And then I solve it like a normal equation. So I'm going to move this 8 over onto that side. So x is going to be 28 minus 8. And my final answer would be x is equal to 20. Okay, so our whole goal here is to make sure that each of our terms has the same denominator before we can get rid of the denominator, and then we solve it like a normal equation. So it looks really horrible, but it's actually the same as what we've been doing anyway. Okay, so I'm going to put this one up here, and I would like you all to give this a try. My hint to you, or my helping hand here, is just remember to write this 5 over 1 before you get started.
Hi, ma'am. Sorry I'm late.
No, it's okay. Are you wanting to give this one an answer?
Ma'am, just give me a second. Let me just look it up.
That's not a problem. It can be your punishment for being late, Waden.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, can I try?
Oh, Nakabonga, you've taken Waden off the hook, but I I think you'll appreciate it. So, do you want to? I'd love it if you gave me the answer. What would you like me to do? Nakabonga, I think that you've muted yourself.
Oh, sorry, ma'am. Sorry.
There we go. Oh no, it's okay. Okay, talk me through.
We say x over 3 minus
Mhm.
2x over 3 equals to 5 over 1,
Good.
which will be, we drop the denominator, we find the lowest common denominator, which is 3,
Mhm.
and then it'll be x over 3 minus 2x over 3 equals to 15 over 3.
Beautiful. Next step.
And then the next step, we drop the denominator,
Good.
and then it'll be x minus 2x equals to 15, and then we take the 2x, put it to the other side, which will be x equals to 15 plus 2x.
Okay, so up to this point, everything you said is absolutely magical. It's just glorious. But at the moment, that x and that negative 2x, they're already on the same side together. So we don't need to move them anywhere. So here we can literally just say x minus 2x, which gives us negative x, which would be 15. And then I can divide both sides by negative 1. So then x would be negative 15.
Okay.
Okay. But everything you did up to here, which is actually the whole hard part, you did beautifully. Great. Okay. I'm going to go on to the next question for you guys. Or does anyone need to see this any longer? Okay. All right. Let's try C. I'm slowly getting nastier. Once you finish this one, if you're feeling good with your answer, just unmute yourself and talk me through what you did. There's no rush.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
I looked for the lowest common denominator,
And what did
I
you
got 12,
Beautiful. Love it.
and then I got 3x over 12
Mhm.
minus 8x over 12 equals 60 over 12.
Excellent.
And then I dropped my denominators and I said x equals 3x minus 8x. And I got x equals minus 5.
Okay, so from this step here, we would now say 3x minus 8x, which would give me negative 5x, and that would be equal to 60. And then I'm going to divide both sides by negative 5, and so therefore x is going to equal negative 12. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I think what happened was you had an x floating somewhere that I'm not sure where that x came from, but everything you did up to here was absolutely beautiful. So it's just about that last little bit of the equation. Great, thank you for answering. Can you just tell me how to say your name properly? Is it Temwani?
Yes, ma'am.
Beautiful. Okay. Okay, D. Ooh, I just love it. I love it when they get spicy. Okay, again, I'm just going to put that as an x over 1. Give it a try.
Sorry, ma'am.
Yeah. Do you want me to go back for you?
Yes, please.
Okay. I'm going to try and shrink it a little bit and then everyone can see both. Oh, Fancy, I feel like I haven't heard an answer from you in a really long time and I miss hearing your voice. Do you feel like you could talk us through D?
I can't talk you through D, ma'am.
You can't talk me through D. Okay, how about this though? How about you talk me about what you're not understanding, because there's probably other people on this call who are also not understanding that, and then we can kind of work through your problem together with D.
I've got most of it. I just can't divide 25 by -4, so I'm not sure what the answer is going to be.
Oh no, but then you just leave it as a fraction like that. So we don't make it as a decimal. So if you have a fraction, that's absolutely fine. So let's just talk through what you were able to do so far. What did you do first?
I got the LCD of 10.
Okay, great.
So I multiplied the 5 by 2, the 1 by 10, and the 2 by 5.
Good.
That led me to the answer of 6x minus 10x equals 25.
Beautiful.
And then it was -4x equals 25. Then I divided both of those by -4, and then I got x equals to 25 over 4.
So I feel like what I've learned from this is that you were just doubting yourself for absolutely no reason, because that's 100% right.
Oh.
Yes. So you need to have more faith in your maths.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well done. So guys, if you were
Thank you.
struggling, if you wanted to not miss a step here, you're also still welcome to write that as 6x over 10 minus 10x over 10, which is equal to 25 over 10. If you want to put that step in with the denominators before you drop it, feel free to do that. Okay. If you feel comfortable to jump straight from there to there, you also can do that. So you must do what you feel comfortable with. Now, don't fall into the same trap that thinking your answer is wrong if you get a fraction. Fractions are fine. And lots of answers are fractions. And what often happens is people think they're wrong when they get an ugly answer like that, but it's not. So just if you trust the process, you do what you know you're supposed to be doing, you're on the right track. Okay, let's move on to our next one. Oh, look at this. Oh, it's so nice. Okay, you know what though? I'm going to help. I'm going to help a little bit here because it's a little bit nasty. When we have two terms in our numerator, we have to be careful when we're working with our LCD. So here that would be a 1/1. Now my LCD is definitely going to be 10. Okay, so that means I know I'm going to have to multiply that by 2, and I'm going to have to multiply that by 5, and I'm going to have to multiply that by 10. When I do that to the top, I'm going to put it in brackets, and you're going to be like, oh, but I can just see what it is. I know I don't need to put it in brackets. I'm telling you, brackets are your friends, because if we don't put it in a bracket, this minus sign is going to come and bite us in our butts. That's what it's going to do, and it's not going to be pleasant. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have that times 2 that we've got over here. We're going to put that 2 in the front, and we're going to put those two terms in our numerator in a bracket. Then for our second one, we're multiplying by 5, and there's this minus sign. So we're going to say minus 5 bracket x plus 1 is equal to 10 bracket 1. If you're feeling like, oh, I don't have a denominator, and you feel like all the walls are caving in, it's absolutely fine to still put those over a common denominator before you drop it. Okay. When you get rid of that denominator and you land up with something like this, what you need to do now is what we were doing earlier, where you need to multiply that into the brackets. And so the reason I'm telling you brackets are your friend is because otherwise everyone changes this 1 to a 5, and it's not a 5, it's a -5, because it's a -5 times the 1. And so then things go sideways. So use brackets. It may take maybe a minute longer, but I promise it's worth your time, and it will save you in the long run. Okay, so I'm just going to work through the rest of this question with you, and then I'm going to let you try the next one by yourselves. So this 2 times 2x would give me 4x. The 2 times 1 will give me 2. Then I'm multiplying -5 by x, which would be -5x. -5 times 1 is -5, and that is equal to 10. Okay. Now at this point, I could move my numbers around, or I could simplify. You must do what you feel more comfortable with. I'm going to keep my 4x and my -5x on this side, and I'm going to move these guys over here. So I'm going to have 10 plus 5 minus 2. The 4x minus the 5x is going to be -1x, and that's going to be equal to 15 minus 2, which is 13. And then all I need to do is divide both sides by -1, and I get -13. Okay, so it's a lot of working for the question, but these questions are worth a lot of marks. So every step that you're doing something, you would land up getting marks. And so they're worth really doing slowly and carefully and making sure you're happy with what you're doing. Okay, I'm just going to leave that there for just a couple more seconds in case anyone still needs to get it down. So you can use it as an example. And you're now going to try this one alone. Okay, give it your best go.
Ma'am, I still need the answer for the previous one.
Sorry. There we go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. just think of your steps. So don't panic by its length. Find your common denominator, put things in brackets, put whole numbers over one step at a time, and then you can't go wrong. Bracket, bracket over 1. That's my little helping hand. Okay, do I have anyone who's feeling brave enough to try and share their answer? No one. How about who have we not heard from a while? Oh my goodness, Tristan, I don't think I've heard from you since our first lesson months ago. Tristan, do you feel like you can talk us through this a little bit? If your sound's not working, I'm also happy for you to try and sort of write things over comments. Okay, I'm not sure if Tristan's hearing me. Okay, let's go. So first thing we needed to do is we needed to find our LCD. And in this case, our LCD is 8. All right. That means that I need to multiply that by 2. I need to multiply that by 4. And I need to multiply that by 8. So I'm going to have 2x plus 3 over 8 minus 1x plus 2 over 8 equals 4 times x over 8. Oh, my LCD is getting in my way. Minus 8 times 1 over 8. Okay, so I have a common denominator. Now, lots of people forget this bracket over here because they're not multiplying it by anything. And if we forget that bracket, we're going to have an issue with our sign. So if you did forget that bracket, don't feel bad. Lots of people forget that bracket, but it is an important bracket to have. Okay, I'm now going to get rid of my denominator because it's common. And I have the same denominator across all of my terms. And now I'm going to multiply things in. So I'm going to get 2x plus 6, and then negative x minus 2, which is equal to 4x minus 8. I'm just going to simplify both of my sides to make it a little bit easier. So I'm going to link my like terms. And on the left-hand side, my like terms are 2x minus x, which gives me x. And I've also got 6 minus 2, which gives me 4. Okay, you don't have to do this step. You can jump straight to moving things to the left and to the right. I just think sometimes this makes it a bit easier. Now I'm going to move my x onto this side, and I'm going to move my 8 onto that side. So I'm going to get 4 plus 8 is equal to 4x minus x. And 4 plus 8 is 12. 4x minus x is 3x. I'm going to divide both sides by 3. So therefore, x is equal to 4. Okay. What I'd like you to do in the comment section is give me an idea of how you found this question. So 0 means I hated everything about this question and I didn't know what to do. 10 is I really understood this question, and even if I didn't get the answer, I understand how that answer happened. So just give me an idea of how you found this question. Okay, 6 minus 10, Jaden. Okay, good to know. Okay, Waden not loving it either. Cool. Okay. Okay. Oh. Those of you who are not enjoying these questions, first of all, that's normal. These are hard questions. Again, we're deep into the big bad world of grade 9 equations right now. But the most important thing is we just stay consistent. So you just need to find your common denominator, multiply it in, and then we follow the step by step. So let's have a look at this question. I'm going to make it a little bit easier for you. And I'm just going to write this x. Imagine it was just up there instead of next to it. Okay, so we've got like 1x over 2. We're going to literally do this one step by step together, but sort of in an interactive way. So I'm going to specifically ask people different questions. Don't feel bad if you are struggling with it. Okay, so Adaora, I'm just going to ask you the first question. If we're looking at these different terms, what would be my lowest common denominator?
Six.
That didn't sound like Adaora. Okay, but yes, your LCD here would be 6. Okay, that's our first step. And that's the most important step. Actually, once we've done that, we're sort of golden. The next thing I'd like you to do is I'd like you to take your pen or pencil, and wherever you have 2 terms on the numerator, I want you to put a pencil bracket around them. So that just reminds us that we know they have to have brackets around them. Okay. Next step. We need to think what we need to multiply each thing by. So I need to multiply this 2 by a 3. That multiply the 6 by a 1, because 6 is 6. Multiply the 3 by a 2, and multiply the 2 by a 3. Okay. And then remember, whatever we do to the bottom, we do to the top. So I'm now going to have that 3 by my 1x minus 1 by x minus 2 is equal to 2 by 5 plus 3 by 4 minus x. And if you want to, at this point, you can still have all of them over a common denominator. What I'd like you to do now is anyone confused up to this point? Just let me know in the comments or unmute yourself. And don't feel bad, because I can't help you if I don't know if you're confused. So is anyone still confused up to this point? Okay. Thanks, Daphne. All right. Now that they have the same denominator, we get to get rid of our denominator. So I get to just erase mine, but yours would obviously be another line. Okay, so I'm just going to be sneaky and get rid of mine like this. Next step is we need to do our distribution. So we're just going to multiply everything into their own brackets. So 3 times 1x is 3x. Then we're going to have negative x plus 2 is equal to 10 plus 12. Oh, sorry, guys. Minus 3x. So all we've done there is we've multiplied everything else. Okay. This should be a normal equation like how we started the lesson. This is where we were on Monday. So everyone at this point should be able to solve this equation. So I just want you to take a minute and try and finish off this equation by yourselves. Okay, I'm just going to simplify my like terms on each side. So I have 2x plus 2 is equal to 22 minus 3x. And then I'm going to send this 3x onto that side. And I'm going to send this 2 onto that side. So I'm going to get 2x plus 3x and 22 minus 2. And so we get 5x is equal to 20. Divide both sides by 5. And so we'll see that x is equal to 4. Okay. Hopefully these are feeling a little better. What's wrong?
I have a question. I got to the same answer, but I didn't take in the first row. I didn't take it out. Wait. Oh,
Do you mean you didn't simplify each side? You just moved things to the other side?
yes.
That's totally fine. So this step over here, you don't have to do. Like this, all the way, this part here, you don't have to do. You can jump straight to that if you were feeling comfortable. So it sounds like what you did was fine.
I only skipped the middle purple part.
That's totally fine. Yeah, and you got the right answer. That's very exciting. Yay, progress, guys, progress. Okay, we are going to try this one now. So I want you to do it exactly the same way, guys. Lowest common denominator. Put your brackets around these terms. Yeah, do you want me to go back up?
Yes, please.
Can you see it? Is that okay? All right, so those of you who can who have finished writing that one, can you write h down in your books? So it's 3x over 5 minus, and then a fraction, x plus 1 over 3, which is equal to 3 over 5 plus x over 3. And I want you to do it slowly and carefully. Nakubonga, can I move up? Taking that as a yes. Okay. So step 1, find your LCD. Ooh. Okay. Step 2, multiply the top terms. Step 3, drop the denominator. Step 4, simplify. And then step 5, solve for x. Jaden, don't panic. I'm not picking on you to answer this. All I want to know, because your previous answer was that you experienced the last one as a minus 10 out of 10. So all I want to know is if this one is going any better. Have we maybe moved to a -8 or a -6?
Ma'am, we've moved to a -4.
Oh my goodness, 6 movements up. I love it. Good. Okay. Here we go. First step, our lowest common denominator is 15. So I'm going to multiply that by 3, by 5, by 3, by 5. So I'm going to have, if you want to jump straight to saying 9x, that's absolutely fine. I'm just going to write it like this so that I'm being consistent. Minus 5 times x plus 1 is equal to 3 times 3 plus 5 times x. Okay, and all of those would be over a denominator of 15. So then I can drop my denominator. Okay, so we've done our LCD, we've multiplied, we've dropped our denominator. Next step, we're going to simplify. So 3 times 3x is 9x. We're going to have negative 5x minus 5. 3 times 3 is 9. 5 times x is 5x. Okay, simplified. Done. Last step is we have to find x. So we have to solve x. Remember, this step you don't have to do. You can just move things around. I'm just going to simplify this side quickly. So I have 4x minus 5 is equal to 9 minus 5x. I'm going to move that 4x onto this side and this 9 onto that side. So minus 5 minus 9 is equal to 5x minus 4x. And negative 5 minus 9 is going to give us negative 14 is equal to x. Do I have anyone who got that 100% right? Either you can unmute yourselves and let me know, or you can tell me in the chat. Did anyone get x is equal to negative 14? Yay! Exciting. Ah,
Ma'am,
yes.
I don't know what I did wrong, but I got -4.
Okay. Let's have a look through the steps, Waden. Does this line over here, does that look the same as mine?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So then tell me what your next line looked like.
Oh,
Where did you go?
snap.
Oh, did
Oh,
you
I
just see
got
your
it.
mistake? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Good.
I,
And that was just a small error then.
yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Excellent. Nice. Okay, guys, if you're making a mistake after this, my worry is like much, much, much lower because all of the marks are like in this bulk section up here. So if you're getting that stuff right, then I'm really happy. Let's see what's happening in this chat. Okay. Can Sani still know? That's okay. A Piwe, well done. Good job, guys. Juna, Gerald, awesome. Those of you who didn't get it, that's also fine. Yeah.
I also made a mistake, but I know where I went wrong.
Okay. Was it also in this bottom section when you were simplifying?
No, I accidentally wrote 5 instead of 3.
Oh, that's so irritating. Oh, I'm sorry, sweetheart. Okay. Nice job, guys. I feel like we've made good progress. Okay. What we're actually going to do, because we're running low on time, we're going to let's end here. So we're going to do this one last question. This is going to be our last one that we're going to do for the evening. Almost. Nice job. Okay. And this is going to be our last question that we're going to do. So I want you to put in your best effort. We're not going to do the exit questions. Think of this one as your exit question. So we're going to see if we can, how many people can improve if we can get some of those scores of how you're feeling about these a little bit higher. Okay, let's go. Let's see who can get this 100% right. First step, LCD is 12. So I'm going to multiply this by 4, by 3, by 4, by 3. Okay, so I'm going to have 4 times 2. If you can jump straight to saying 8, that's great. Minus 3 times x minus 1 minus 4 times x is equal to 3 times negative 1, or you could say negative 3 times 1. It's all the same. Okay, and that would all be over an LCD of 12, and because it's a common denominator, we get to drop it. So the next step was to simplify, well, to multiply these out and simplify in the process. So we're going to get 8 minus 3x plus 3 minus 4x is equal to negative 3. If you've gotten up to that step right, you've got the bulk of your marks. So I'm really happy up to this point. I'm now just going to simplify both sides. So my 8 plus my 3 is 11, and negative 3 minus 4 is negative 7x, which equals negative 3. I'm going to move that 3 over, and that's 7 over. So I have 11 plus 3 is equal to 7x. 14 is equal to 7x. And so my answer is 2. Okay, can I get an idea in the comments on whether we got this right? And also if you could give me an idea of if you're feeling a little bit better with these fractions than you did at the beginning of the lesson. You can also unmute yourself and speak if you would prefer to do that. I don't mind, whichever one you prefer. Missed one step, that's okay. It might have been a step that you didn't need. Yeah, I'm listening.
I'm confused. I got 14.
You got the answer is 14.
Yes.
Okay, can we quickly just have a look at where things went a bit sideways? Do you have the same line as me over here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so then it's just, then something's just gone wrong with your adding. So then either when you moved something across, you didn't change it from a plus to a minus, which is also possible. Can you just make sure that this is a positive 3 on yours?
Yes, it is.
Okay, then it really is just an adding error.
Okay.
And that's,
Thank you.
that's best case scenario. So that's a good thing. Okay, let's have a look at some of these comments. Great, Jaden, you got it. And you gave me a minus 10 as an answer just now. So I'm very excited about that, having gotten it. Okay, almost great. Okay. Almost they're just confused with the second step. That's okay. Well done, guys. Okay, Gerald, no. Gerald, though, are you feeling a little bit better with them than you were, or are you still just not feeling great about the fractions?
Oh, Mom, it's just that I forgot to put the negative. I forgot the negative on the 1/4.
Oh, that's so irritating. Otherwise, you would have gotten it right. Oh, that's very sad. Okay, but I'm fine with that mistake because that's like a silly error. It's not an understanding error. Guys, I feel like we've come a long way in this hour. I'm really proud of you. You've done really good work. I'm going to give your brains a rest, and I'm going to pass the mic on to Tula so he can talk to you guys. But just from my side, well done. Well done for being here on a Wednesday evening. You did really, really good work.
Yeah, certainly. I share those sentiments. You guys have been amazing. Hi everyone. As you all know, my name is Tula. I'm a mentor with Watobi Maths. And I'm not gonna keep you guys for too long. I'm just gonna jump straight just to, let me just share my screen. Don't forget to just let me know if you can't see my screen, just write on the chat. I'm sharing it now. Yeah, everyone should be seeing my screen at this point. Let's see. So we're doing equations, and of course this is just one section of the work that we're doing. We have many more sections, but for the purposes of these set of lessons, so these 6 lessons, it's just going to be covering equations. And we are on lesson number 2 now, which is the 28th of July. We're doing equations with fractions, and I always like the tick there. It feels like a sense of achievement, just always ticking as we're going along. So we'll tick again on the 2nd of August, which I think is next week, Monday. And we'll be doing quadratic equations. So just to prep yourself, you guys, for that, as always, you go to the Watobi app and then just go to algebraic equations and then click there, and then just go to basic quadratic equations, and then do that. You can also just search equations and you'll find all the lessons that you need. So you don't need to wait for the live classes to do maths. We have the app and it has everything you might possibly need, with the lessons and the quizzes, just to test yourself and just always prepare yourselves. I know last time we spoke, I promised you guys the leaderboard today, but we're actually going to be doing that. Next week. So you still have a lot of time to do lessons, just do a lot of activities on the app, and then hopefully we might see your name pop up on the next leaderboard. So thank you guys for attending. I'll see you guys. I hope to see all these faces again on the 2nd of August, next Monday, for our next lesson. And I don't know if you have anything to add, Mrs. G.
No, all good. Hope you all have a lovely evening.
Yeah, awesome. Have a lovely evening, guys. Bye.
Bye, everyone.